going on, YouTube? My name's Dalton, and this is my garage and my plethora of projects. Trying to get a lot of them done, trying to do them adequately, or at least hopefully. Problem is, I'm a complete amateur. I'm trying to do things in a not so amateur fashion. Now, most of the people that I've been watching on YouTube to try and learn how to do some of this stuff are already mechanics, or body guys, or woodworking experts, you name it. I'm not. I'm an idiot. So, I figured, why don't I start filming some of the stuff I do as your resident idiot friend, and maybe provide a bit of an insight I don't think we get a lot when we watch these how-to videos for these DIY warriors on the internet, where they all already know what they're doing. And everything turns out looking beautiful and perfect or works. Because a lot of my projects don't end up that way. We get there eventually, but it's a bit of a rockier road than I think we usually see. So, I'm starting this YouTube channel to hopefully bring you guys on some of those rides. Maybe make you laugh. Maybe you learn something. Hopefully from one of my more painful mistakes. I'm sure are going to happen in the future. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a walk around the garage. I'll kind of show you guys what I'm working with. Alright, so first and foremost, we got the old lady's rig out here. The other night, coming home from work, she whacked a deer pretty good. Bumper's all fucked, headlights smashed and pushed in. The lights still work, but this housing's trash, so we're gonna have to replace that. The hood took some big hits. I can't fix that, and the fender's all, well, you can see it. So I've already sourced replacement parts. Got a bumper out of a junkyard that's in halfway decent shape, and I got on the interwebs and bought the most absolute cheap piece of shit Chinese replacement panels, complete with defects that I didn't realize until I had them sprayed. That's a pro move. That way you can't return it and you're stuck with your bad decisions. So we're going to be replacing those and spraying them. I did buy a used air compressor recently, so I'm going to actually be using an HVLP gun, wet sanding, the whole nine, and we're going to hopefully make this look like a new car. If I get super ambitious, I might respray the roof, you know, probably not. So that's project number one. Project number two is my C10. This is a 1970 C10. I've had it for 2 years now. It's my daily driver, believe it or not. I take this to work every day of the week, Monday to Friday. I'm lucky I've got a really short commute, so it doesn't get a whole lot of miles, but she's my rig. Currently, the number one biggest project that I need to do with her is she's got an overheating issue and a backfiring exhaust type issue. I can't keep the pipe and the manifold mated happily in here. So to fix that, I'm thinking new plugs, and then I've got a really nice new 3-core aluminum expensive radiator doodabby thing in the box there. So hopefully that fixes our heating issue. If it doesn't, I've got a water pump for it over here somewhere that I already spray painted and accidentally got a bunch of paint on the pump blades. So, you know, it'll ruin that nice new expensive radiator I just bought, which is perfect. That's just to get it on the road. If painting the panels on the old lady's car goes well, then this thing is going to get sprayed. I'm going to take as much of it off as I can, sand the truck down, and repaint it. I want to do a two-tone white, off-white, and they called it hunter green for the rest of the body of the truck. I think it's going to look really nice. I'm not going to have to do a whole lot of body work. Most of our panels here are rock solid. Rockers are good. The cab corners are perfect. Same thing with our step-up pads here. Just a little well loved and old, but no welding, which is awesome. I am gonna have to probably get a new tailgate. When I bought the truck, I thought these were bullet holes. Turns out they're just license plate holes. Somebody was using zip ties up here when they had to tow stuff, because this comes out and you can put a ball hitch in here. So I don't know, I might replace the tailgate, I might let her ride. I do want to get the white colored in here and in the letters. I think it'll look really sharp. When I do that, I'm going to replace the wood in the box. I really like the look of the old school, like real wood in these things. I don't care if it's like higher maintenance or I can't haul heavier things. That's not a big deal. I'll just fix it again. So that will be something fun to figure out how to do. On replacing the mirrors and some other small fiddly things here. But that radiator will be either this weekend or next weekend. And then doing the paint and all that, that's farther down the road. The biggest project is my 69 Chevelle, old girl. So I've had this car since I was 16. It's got the 350 in it. I made a good news, bad news discovery a few weeks ago, and the block in this is not original. My father had always thought it was. It's not. So that got me down a really dangerous train of thought. Got too many beers in me one evening and decided it's time to hot rod it, because I can hot rod it guilt-free now. So from Summit, I picked up a set of their new cast 67cc chamber Vortec heads. They already have got the accessory holes drilled on them, and they look really nice. Some of the people that I know who actually know what they're talking about have suggested that I take this to a machine shop to get tested and make sure it seals and the deck or whatever the flat part's called is actually flat. So I'm going to do that. Some super cool kid heat wrap exhaust for these long tube headers that I bought off somebody on Facebook Marketplace for probably way too cheap. They probably won't work, but gonna wrap them. I'll show you guys how I'm gonna end up doing that. Also from good old FB Marketplace is this aluminum air gappy go fast aluminum intake with the Vortec head pattern. I made that mistake with the first intake I bought for this, and I had to figure out what to do with it. So I've got the right kind of intake now. It's going to look cool. I still don't know if I'm going to paint it the Chevy red orange. The heads are definitely going to get painted. Went to a swap meet, picked up these super cool chromey valve covers that are going to go on it. Spent the money to get the real ARP bolts and studs for the install. This is a new Chinese no-name HEI distributor that will probably explode and not work correctly when we try and install it. So that'll be fun. Went with some PRW full roller rocker arms. Are they full roller? No. Roller tipped rocker arms. When we get there, because I didn't know until after I bought these heads that the valves require self-aligning rocker arms. I was going to reuse the stockies that are in the car right now. Can't do that. That was a fun payday discovery. So new rocker arms. Then I think this is the most expensive single piece besides the heads for this little project. I actually went with name brand comp cams for my cam setup. I've never done a cam swap. I've never messed with timing chains or anything. So this will be fun. It's a 238 grind, which is, I believe, the second step underneath what you can do with a stock stall converter. I've never taken a transmission off a car before. Didn't want to have to do that for a cam. Not yet, anyway. So the one step down from the biggest they say will work, which means that one probably definitely doesn't work, which is why I went with this one. Summit sells a kit, which will give you your lifters and a timing chain, a really nice double roller setup in one package, which is what I went with. Because I'm already going to be in here doing the cam, may as well do new timing chains. And somebody told me I can't reuse these, so I bought new ones. Now, after all that's bolted on, back there in that big white box, I've got a brand new, definitely going to fit, don't need to weld or cut anything, exhaust system with mufflers that is definitely not going to require cutting or welding or me having to go buy a bunch of cheap shit from Harbor Freight to figure out how to make it work. It's going to be fun. So that's the bumper that's going onto the Sonic, by the way. Rattle can primed because of course it is. But yeah, those are my biggest projects. The car is going to be first. The old lady's getting pretty embarrassed pulling into work and her school with deer carnage still kind of evident on the front over here. So I need to get that done first, and then the C10's cooling issues, and then we're going to dive deep into this guy, trying to get this thing sorted out. I'm going to try and make some videos on how I'm going to disassemble the top end here, because again, that's one of those things that's not really covered in my thought process on how I'm going to do some of the things that I'm going to do here. And then our actual installations. Now, if I actually get people who watch this video and you guys know how to do any of this, or you've done this before and you want to leave some tips and tricks, please do. I'm definitely going to need it. So yeah, that's it. You know, just a nice, short, easy list of definitely attainable things for your average everyday dude who's got no experience doing it to figure out. It's going to be fun. Yeah, I work an office job. I don't mess with this stuff except for fun. So, like I said, man, like if you guys are experts or you do know what you're doing, and you want to shoot some advice down into the bleep bloop boxes down there, I would very much appreciate it. Do work full time. I'm a busy guy. So, as for right now, whenever I move on to all these things, I'm going to be filming it and then trying to take care of intros and outros and all that other shit you got to do on YouTube to like actually make content that people want to watch. So we'll see. This might just be a one and done. You guys might watch me do some cool shit with this girl. I'm hoping I turn her into a 2-tire fryer. I think that's about it. Yeah.